today, Jessica, the Light Devil Maiden, I've seen people compare this to Akroma. Personally, I feel it is more of an LD5 version of the Dark Dalsim. We've got the first skill the same as the other ones. It's a glancing hit. Second skill, Here Come the Ghosts. This is an AoE strip and attack power break. And then the Blessing of it. And she also has a 44% leader skill. Maybe that's one of the reasons that they're comparing her to Akroma. Not quite the same unit, though. Blessing of Curse passive. For every harmful effect granted on yourself, the damage increased by 20%. And the damage taken is decreased by 5%. Grants one of the harmful effects granted on yourself to the target when attacking. In addition, ignores all the harmful effects granted on yourself and gains immunity against the Oblivion effect. So it's kind of similar-ish to Akroma, but personally I feel that is more similar to Dark Dalsim and Dark Poison Master. So let's see what she can do. All right, interesting. I was expecting a Miles to come out. There we go. And I wasn't expecting the Annabelle. Kind of a surprise there. So let's see. Yeah, the debuffs aren't going to be as impactful on, as you can see, that's her passive coming into play. She's just ignoring the defense break, basically, which is nice. Maybe they didn't pay attention to what her passive actually does. So this could be some easy wins right now for people that own her if their opponents don't pay attention to what the passive actually does. I feel like if they went for the Oliver, they could have actually taken that down. But I mean, people are gonna figure that out eventually, though. They're gonna figure out probably within the week. They're like, oh yeah, if you defense break and try to kill her, it's not quite gonna work. So it's just fun to see. Fun to see and unexpected. Still alive. She's just ignoring all of that. Eventually, though, she takes enough damage. So they kind of just won by surprising their opponents that didn't expect the passive to do what it actually does. That is very funny. I don't think they would have won otherwise. So, GG, the Miles can take care. Well, you would think the Miles can take care. There we go, of the Masha. Who gets banned? Desarion and the sustain. All right, fair enough. Riley's toxic here anyway. So one defense break. They're gonna go for her. No, they're not gonna go for. Well, they're gonna go for her now. Tell me they do that. All things in nature. All right. Yeah. I like this. I like people hitting the Jessica, not really realizing what the passive does. And immune to Oblivion, too. So that's pretty fun. Ooh, is this going to be a... why am I asking? Is this going to be a Douglas last pick? Well, if it was a Douglas last pick, it wouldn't be in the video. So obviously, it's not going to be a Douglas last pick. Sometimes I don't know, guys. Sometimes I don't know what I'm thinking. I need to pick Masha more. From all the videos that we've done today, it just reminds me that I need to pick Masha more. She's a decent enough unit. I have a decent win rate with her, or good win rate with her rather. And you see the throwing back the debuffs on the opponents, which is nice. Let's try to pay a little bit more attention to her right now, throwing back the debuffs. Beautiful. Look at that. Because she doesn't do all of those naturally with the skill too. It's part of her passive. Here we go with the Verti-heal. Does the Miles get banned? Okay, Oliver gets banned. Didn't think... I figured it was going to be... Yeah, I really didn't think the Oliver was going to get banned. I figured the Miles might. Because they have 2 resets either way. There is the throwing back of the debuffs. Very nice. And some more. First pick Rakuni into Barbara and Oliver, and of course Leo's going to come out anytime Barbara gets picked. That's why you don't see Barbara as much as you used to. Because it's just so easy, people picking Leo all the time. Okay, so Barbara's not going to do any damage now. And Hellfire against the thing that ignores the defense break. They're not going to be able to get away with this forever. They're not going to be able to... By the end of this week, people are going to wise up and they're going to be like, yeah, let's not try to defense break that unit because they're just going to ignore it. Defense break or debuffs, because all those debuffs are... Not all of the debuffs, but some of the debuffs are going to get thrown back. So they really don't even have to worry about, as long as the Leo's on the field, they don't have to worry about the Barbara. They're hitting the Barbara because number one, she's got a defense break for skill 2, and then number 2, Leo has element advantage. Well, also the Riley has element advantage as well, but Leo's gonna be able to do just that and take that down quickly. Let's see if they can take this Daphnis down. That is so funny to see. And she's going to ignore all of these continuous damage too. This is not going to really affect her. Oh, I suppose the Leo can deal with the Daphnis just fine. So, as you see, continuous... I was surprised to see them go for the skill 2 and not the skill 1. I thought they were going to go for the skill 1 on Rakuni. And just leave the Juno. Yeah, I think this is game, just because there's so much sustain. I know that Juno is there. She's going to deal with all the buffs. And she can do a lot, but I don't think that Juno has a chance to win this. I think eventually Leo's just going to do enough damage that it doesn't matter. So, GG. This is another one which could have gone very different. Like, for example, it could have gone very different if they targeted something that wasn't Jessica. If they targeted the Leo with the Daphnis, took that down, and then the Barbara could have done a whole lot more damage. That would have been a different story. But they wanted to take that Jessica down, and they didn't know what Jessica's passive did. Again, it's not going to continue to work past this week. People are going to... Or maybe once in a blue moon it might still work. But people are going to wise up at a certain point. And they're going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to. Also, she is kind of a bruiser. Because she does do increased damage with her passive as well. With the first part. So she should be able to do a decent amount with the attack power buff. Possibly. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Or Leo could just handle it himself. So control cleave on the left-hand side, and right-hand side is just trying to respond to the control cleave as well as they possibly can. They have 2 very tanky HP leader skills, but the Abellio gets banned out. So they do have to... Oh, they didn't get it. Ooh, they got all the debuffs. Although, as we just mentioned 5,000 times, Jessica is not really worried about the debuffs. So I would not keep, they can't hear me, but I would not keep attacking the Jessica because you're going to get less value out of that. So I think I would just save her till later. But you know, people are afraid of the LD5s that they don't know what they do. But that's why you gotta read, even if you don't own the unit. If you have to fight against it at one point, you should know what it does. And this is punishing a lot of people, is that they don't know what the unit does yet. Control team versus... They did pivot. They were going to run a control team as well on the right-hand side, but then they pivoted to a bruiser team, somewhat. Kind of a hybrid bruiser team with Shung Pung in there. Do they get the stuns? Or no, they do get the stuns. All right. Some bombs. Well, one bomb. Now Jessica is going to throw back some of these debuffs though. Let's see. Okay. Glancing hit is not bad on the enemies. I wonder if she's... Like, we were talking about her versus Akroma I wonder if she's kind of better than Akroma already. She should be, right? She's a brand new LD5. Akroma is also an LD5, but would you rather have her or Akroma if you have to choose one in a match? Would you rather have her or Akroma? I feel like it's an easy pick for me. I would say Jessica, easy pick. So you see how beautiful that is. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if they have the bombs on or any kind of debuffs. But again, this is not gonna happen next week. This is not gonna happen. People aren't gonna make this mistake twice. They're gonna learn after the pain of not being able to nuke with Daphnis, not being able to nuke with Ciara. They're gonna learn, okay, let me take a different approach. Maybe take a Molong, Ikari's, Dominic, and just snipe that unit that way. Because there's nothing she can really do against pure damage. So I think people are going to modify their approach, and they're going to go for more pure damage. But this is just stealing wins left and right. You knew it was only a matter of time before the Laura and the Wedget got picked. What are they banning? The Tessarion. There's a lot of... Well, she's immune to Oblivion anyway. But they do still have the passives on the other two units. So... let's see. I wonder if Laura would have been a better ban. I suppose we'll see. They're in a good enough spot, though. It doesn't really matter too much. They should be fine right now. I want to see what Jessica does by the end of the match. Let's see. It looks like they're not trying to snipe her down just yet. Let's see if that changes. Additional turn, okay. It's got some buffs. See, with the Akroma, you can see that the debuffs aren't being applied. With Jessica, it's not super obvious. Like, you see the debuff there, you're like, oh, she has this debuff. It's like, not really. She doesn't really have the debuff. She has it there so that it can get thrown back at the enemy when she gets her turn. That's why it's showing these debuffs instead of like the... I think that's why Comtois did it, is because they want to show the debuffs are there so that they can throw them back when she gets her turns and does her skills as part of her passive. Okay. That Ryu's going down in a second. She gets the sleep. She gets the sleep. Quote unquote. And goodbye, Ryu. Oh, it's the Oliver show. Hold on. Oh, come on. It's the Oliver show. And then he just does Oliver things. Yep. And this is why he is one of the... Oh my... He's still going. He's still going. He just never stops taking turns. Okay. Yeah, this is not... This is not fair. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous, this Oliver. Not even remotely fair. I can't wait till Oliver just bites the dust. This is ridiculous, this unit. I feel like the... yeah, there we go. There's the Violent Proc. They're like, oh, I can do Violent Procs too. They took one Violent Proc. Jeez, that Oliver was going crazy. Sustain on both sides. Monkey gets banned out. Let's see. Let's always see. Let's always see what winds up happening, right? They have sustain on both sides, though. So it's really, right now, it's anyone's game. I, of course, want to... I, of course, feel like the Jessica's got an advantage. Hold on, that seems like it's a squishy Gianna, which they figured that out too. They're like, yeah, that Gianna, she's taking some damage. So, I mean, it's not really high level, but... Okay, good enough. The glance on the Oliver. Hopefully that's enough to stop him from going crazy. Curse the Beautiful. which she's just going to ignore, and now she is going to throw... Yeah, she wasn't getting attacked on top of a defense break. She had it on the screen, but it wasn't actually an effect that was going to increase the amount of damage. And I think they realized what was happening. That was they conceded very early. They should have still played it out, but here we saw this player before. They've got the Shungpung and the Charlotte, so there's gonna be a lot. But they got a lot of attack gauge reduction. Jeez, a lot of attack gauge reduction here. Douglas would have been very strong. Antares would have been very strong. Vertiheal would have been very strong here. So it was a decent amount of damage there. But the Dark Panda Warrior does do increased damage as part of his passive. So let's see. Let's see what winds up happening. This could go either way based on procs. that's the whole story of Summoner's War. Could go either way based on procs. Does Charlotte proc? She does not proc. Okay. Douglas would have eaten this team. Maybe not eaten this team. Douglas would have done quite a bit here, though. Would have done some very nasty stuff. It could still go either way with Charlotte, but she's not proccing, so yeah. If Charlotte would have gotten more turns, if she would have activated with skill 1, it wouldn't be, because I feel like this is kind of over now, but it wouldn't be over if Charlotte did some Charlotte things. Why am I saying it with Charlotte? I don't pay too much attention to how I say that. So pretty crazy unit. I really like this more than I thought I would. She is stealing a pretty substantial amount of turns right now. I don't see that still happening in a week. I think people are going to figure out how to deal with her more effectively. But in the meantime, Jessica owners, new Jessica owners, enjoy the increased win rate while it lasts before people figure out exactly what she does. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you as always in the next one.